Today, we're going to talk about something different. Today, we're going to talk about a question that I often get, which is, Nick, why don't you start a prop firm? Let's jump in. Welcome back to my channel. Today, guys, we're talking about a question that I very often get and a theme that is pretty consistent across the Forex industry right now. A lot of influencers, a lot of people who are notorious in this industry are starting prop firms. And although I don't think I'm the most notorious person, I've been around the block for a while and I often get the question, Nick, why not start a prop firm? You could fund traders, you could make money. You know, prop firm business is a very, very cash flow heavy business. A lot of very, very big profits are being made by prop firms out there. And in this video, I'm going to give you my honest, transparent reasoning as to why I am not starting a prop firm. Now, if you're not sure what a prop firm is, let's give the high level idea of what a prop firm is. The idea behind a prop firm is the prop firm has money, it has funds to trade, and they are looking to offer those funds to professional level traders who can manage that money on behalf and split some sort of profit with them. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about prop firm stuff is I've been very vocal about my opinions about prop firms. I think that they have pros, they have cons like everything else, but I think that they are a net benefit to the trading community. Here's what I mean. First of all, I love prop firms for the fact that they are encouraging people to a degree to stay within rules and limits that most traders should consider anyways. Things like keeping your risk size small and not trading too many times a day or not having a max drawdown that's substantial or anything like that. I think all of these things are net very, very good for the industry. We need more of this. We need more people who are learning proper risk management, and prop firms, like it or not, force you, if you're going to trade their funds, to adhere to their risk management principles, which again, I think is a great thing for the community. People are paying attention more to risk management than they ever have before, not to their own accord, but to the prop firm who is behind it. So I really like that. Another thing I really like about prop firms is that they have really changed the game for something that I've been talking about for a long time, which is 1 to 2% gains per month is really, really quite good because it allows you to steadily grow an account without having giant swings. But most people don't like when I give that answer because they say, well, that's only relevant if you have a lot of money. Well, introducing prop firms, they allow for traders to have access to bigger capital size and make those gains worth it, even if it's just 1 to 2 to 3% per month on average. You now have that opportunity to make that substantial through prop firms. So I love prop firms for those reasons. There are also some cons about prop firms. I did a whole video on this, so I don't want to rehash everything I said in that. If you'd like to check out the full video, you can check it out in the top right hand of the screen right now. We'll link it there. Now, in terms of prop firm cons, let's talk just high level for a second about this. One of the big things that I point out in the video is that prop firms B-book their traders, almost all of them. In fact, I don't know a single prop firm that does truly, genuinely, transparently A-book all of their traders. A-book and B-book, if you don't know, for very high level context, A-book is when you take a trade, it goes directly to the live markets and it's passed in, and the broker or the entity only takes a spread or a commission as part of their payment. B-book is where your funds never actually hit the live markets. You place a trade, you buy Euro USD, for example, or gold or whatever. The prop firm doesn't pass it on to the live market and they take the other side of your trade. They make money when you lose money, you lose money, or you make money when they lose money, vice versa. This is what most prop firms are doing. They're not passing your money because they know most traders are going to lose money. And there's a grime to the industry. And this is part of the reason when I answer why I don't own a prop firm or don't plan to, this is one of the reasons. There's a little bit of a weird casino vibe when it comes to running a prop firm. Not to say that all casinos are bad. Casinos serve a purpose. They allow people to come and play games, watch sports, and do that. But there's also that side dirty laundry aspect to casinos where it's degenerate gamblers and people, losing everything and they can't stop themselves and they really shouldn't be there. Well, prop firms have that same thing too. Whether people like to talk about it or not, it's the reality. There are people who are trying to get funded that have no business to do it, and you can't talk it out of them. They just keep throwing their money at challenges, $500 here, $1,000 here, and just blowing it all up. And even when they do get funded, they don't know how to trade anyways. So they just lose it and start all over again, paying all their money to the prop firms. Those guys are the ones that make prop firms all the money, not the professional traders. I've talked about this in detail before. Successful traders don't really do a whole lot of good for prop firms. Again, most prop firms nowadays are offering huge payouts, meaning like 90%. So the prop firm's not really making any money from profitable traders. They are directly incentivized to make their money from traders who are losing, and they're more incentivized just in general to make traders less successful.
Need some change?
No.
Why?
Because I'm all out of money!
I'm not talking about all prop firms, but this is just sort of the inherent dynamic of the industry at this time. There's another thing that's keeping me from starting a prop firm: regulatory stuff. This stuff is blowing up, and the more attention it garners, the more risk there is from government entities cracking down. Because, akin to how close this looks to a gambling casino, which all countries have heavily regulations to, I forecast that prop firms are going to have crackdowns. And whether this is sooner or later, we've seen this in the past. My friend Jessica from Funding Talent, she talked about the crackdowns that sort of occurred with her. There is a podcast out where she did a great interview with the Words of Wisdom gentleman, who does a great job as well. You could check out his episode with Jessica if you'd like for the full context to what I'm talking about there. We'll link that as well. But what you need to know is that, of course, regulation is a serious thing, and it's not something that me as an entrepreneur, I will be transparent. I mean, I run a business beyond just this YouTube channel. I run a business where we build software tools for traders. That is my passion. That is where I'm focused, and that's where I'm happy to be. That's another reason why I'm not interested in going the prop firm space. We do very well for ourselves. We're a successfully run business. There's about 10 of us total. We do, what I would consider to be a really great job. Of course, maybe a little bit egotistical sounding, but it's the truth. We work really hard at what we do. We build tools for traders. We put out content for traders on our channel, live streams, this channel, and the other channel we have, A1 Trading. I mean, that's what we do, and that's where we specialize, and that's also where our focus is. So that's a huge reason for why I have not started a prop firm. But again, it's also the regulation stuff. I think that with all of these prop firms blowing up all at once, it's gonna catch the eye eventually of regulators. Regulators move slow, but eventually they catch on. Take a look at, for example, the crypto world. Now again, prop firms are not inherently bad. And I'm not saying like, oh, regulators are going to crack down because it's just a terrible thing. But the reality is there's so many prop firms popping up. There's a lot of sketchiness that goes on where prop firms, again, I mentioned, they're directly incentivized to go against the trader. Many of them, almost all of them, do not actually want profitable traders on their platform because that's a net cost to them. They want losing traders that are a net gain to them. They just blow, challenges over and over, and they keep re-upping with the firm. Again, those 90% payouts, you have to ask yourself, where's the money for the prop firm? If they're paying out all of their trading profits that the traders make on to the trader, the profits are absolutely certainly not coming from trading. The profits are coming from the losses from traders on their challenge accounts. And the reality about it is that although we talk very heavily about you should not try and get funded until you're very consistently profitable, it's something that I've preached on this channel for a long time. It doesn't really change the fact that that's the reality of what traders do. They try and get funded too soon. People are impatient, just like how people don't want to wait to go from demo to a live account. People don't want to wait to get funded. They get funded, or they try and get funded way too soon. They blow money. So it's kind of this dirty laundry effect. Why I don't think that casinos or prop firms are bad businesses. They have to exist. Someone has to run them. It's just not for me. So I'm not saying, again, I'm not taking the moral high ground like, oh, well, if you are running, you're a terrible person. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that for me, I have other focuses in what I'm doing. I'm a busy person, and it's not really my passion to fund other traders. Another thing I will say is if I had the idea of like, okay, if I'm taking $10 million of my own money and I'm starting to allocate it out to traders out there, why would I do that when I could just trade it myself? If I'm being so honest about this for a second, why would I fund other traders and pay them out 90% of the profits that they make if I could just trade that money myself? I want you to put yourself in a position. Let's say you had $5 million and you are very experienced in this stuff. Well, I mean, I don't want to say like I'm very experienced, but I've been doing this for a long time. I know my specialties, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. And I know that, if I had $5 million to trade today, $5 million entered into my account, I would be better off trading it myself conservatively, spreading it out, diversifying it.
Yeah, diversify.
investing some of it in different places, trading some of it with different strategies. I'd be better off doing it myself. Why would I need to give that money to a bunch of random strangers on the internet? Ask yourself, would you? I don't know that many people would say yes. The reality is that if a really professional influencer had all of this money to fund, you have to ask yourself, why are they just offering it out to traders? It's not because they're trying to diversify their trading returns. That makes no sense because the payouts are 90% for most of these firms. So that makes no sense. It's purely because the challenge model is a cash cow machine. It's a business, and there's nothing wrong with a business, but you just have to understand when you see an influencer or something funding people, it's not them trying to do a good deed. It's not them, people will take that and try and stretch that out. I sell software at my company. I'm not doing that to do a good deed. I mean, I enjoy that I'm very happy that those tools help other traders. That's very fulfilling for me, but it's not the only reason I'm doing it. We do it because we make money.
We've got to have money.
And if you want something not transparent, this is the wrong channel for you. I talk straight up about, this is a business. We sell software tools that we work very hard to build. We have a team of people behind it. And, that's how we make our money on this channel outside of, I still do genuinely trade the money that I make though. And that's where if I have all this capital, I am certainly not going to just turn around and give it out to people for just 10% of the profit that's made on those accounts. So that is something you really have to ask yourself. Why are these influencers so keen on getting me to trade their money when they're not even going to capture any of the returns that I trade? It's clearly you are the product kind of aspect, right? If you don't know what the product is, you are the product, right? That's the thing you need to understand. And that's what I'm trying to just be transparent about with this stuff. Why haven't I started a prop firm? Again, I trade my own money and I really don't have any interest in other people trading my money for me. I have everything that I need. The experience that I've earned over the years has given me, everything that I need to trade and invest my money conservatively, the way that I like to do. Again, I have capital. I certainly could do something in the prop firm space, but it's just not something that I think I need to do. I don't need to involve other people in my investing and trading. And when you see a prop firm doing it, you have to ask, why are they involving other people? Well, it's a business and that makes sense. Somebody's got to do it. And I don't think that it's, as I've said many times, it's not a negative thing for someone to be a prop firm manager. But again, if you had that capital and you could just trade it yourself, you would just trade it yourself. That's where you also have to be questionable. It's but understandably, there's more money to be made through selling challenges than there is through trading that money in many cases. It depends who you're asking, of course, and how consistent and how that is. But if somebody doesn't know how to trade, it certainly makes a lot more sense to sell challenges. If you do know how to trade, it's toss-up. Depends how much work you want to do. Prop firms are a ton of work. I'm not taking away from anybody who runs a prop firm because they are a ton of work. I run a business. It's a ton of work. It's 5 days a week. I'm in office attire. I'm in a studio office right now. I'm not sitting on the beach with my laptop open, getting sand caught in between the keys. It's not what I'm doing, right? So you have to just understand. Prop firms are not evil, but there's some sketchy components around them. Regulation is a concern for me. And if I had, an intention to trade money or I would not, spread it out to other people. There's no need for me to do that. I can trade it and invest it myself. Thank you guys for watching. A little bit of a rant. Again, I've been enjoying these types of videos recently. If you did like this and you made it to the very end of the video, what do you guys think? I want to hear from you real quick. And also, I've got your special word of the day. The special word of the day is seltzer. Put the word seltzer in the chat if you could spell it. It's S-E-L-Z-E-R. Seltzer. It's hard to spell in my head. Put the word seltzer down below in the comments if you made it this far. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I hope this doesn't come across negative. I'm really not trying to bash the industry or anything like that. I'm just trying to throw up some things that people need to consider because everyone is so, bullish and optimistic about the prop firm space, which I think there are some great things, but you have to remember there are also some cons and some things to consider about the prop firm space. Regulatory stuff is probably coming. So many prop firms entering the space at once creates a lot of competition and a lot of them are going to blow up. That's probably a reality as well. This is not me trying to be negative. This is trying to be realistic about an industry that is exploding right now. This is usually what happens. I mean, we all saw what happened with the crypto world. Everything blew up and then everything blew up, right? Things went really, really well, got massive overnight, and suddenly many firms blew up on liquidity issues. The crypto crash space, blew up. Regulatory stuff cracked down. You have to be aware and you have to be realistic with this stuff. That is coming to the prop firm space as well, and we need to be careful about it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.